Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated. It's Mary Jane, and let's talk about Snowfall, Season 2, Episode 4. The music was lit, too. I liked the music they played, especially at the end of the show. The music was really nice. And we see Lou is moving on. She has chose Claudia, you know. She's feeling him more, and plus she doesn't feel appreciated, and she's bouncing. And Kevin's making his own moves without Franklin's permission, and this is the second time he has done that, because the first time he got all the soldiers that was gathered, Jerome, Leon, and whoever else was in the house, to go over there and try to kill the Mexicans. And then on top of that, now he's taking $5,000 from the trucks, the ice cream trucks and stuff, without Franklin's permission, because he felt like it's something that is owed to him and he needed to do. So Franklin better be watching out for Kevin, because Kevin has a grudge to grind. And I think Kevin actually thinks that he's better suited for Franklin's spot. Like, he should be there because he's the real gangster. He's the real G. He's the real hood dude. So I sense a lot of jealousy, and plus, Kevin is not all that smart. He was just gonna kill any Mexican. So we'll see what's going on. And we see, Lucia is getting played by the by the police. Pedro's new girlfriend is a snitch. His wife is a snitch. She's trying to bring down the organization. That's why she was so insistent on working in the factory. And she got the factory raided. But they didn't find no drugs because Lucia had her paperwork legit. And so is Pedro in on this, or he's actually getting played too? Because that's some real bullshit. Like, damn, Lucia, you got a snitch among your armor. And, Franklin got a thief and someone jealous among his armor. So we'll see how that situation goes down. I think Pedro's going to have to kill, his wife, or are they end up both going to be getting killed, because I don't see Lucia going down. And Gustavo got his hand on the trigger, waiting to take out Pedro and his wife. And also we see, Franklin's father, he returns, he's alive, and he's actually sober because he's like in detox, because he was injured really bad by the police, because they was trying to clean up the neighborhood so the Olympics can come through. We heard about this going down plenty of times in the USA. So with that situation, it just seems like, and plus he's back at home with Sissy. He's back home with his wife or ex-wife or whatever, and that's going to bring him closer to Franklin. Maybe he's able to guide Franklin and train him and train his men, where they really have like an assault team, like a team that can actually go up against the Mexicans, not just children with guns and things like that, but actually a real assault team, a real trained military force. So, and that'll be good for Franklin, because right now, everybody's just laid back. Jerome's laid back. Peaches is laid back. But Peaches, got some peoples that can give some guns to Franklin. So that's all good. So moving on, Franklin's able to meet the demands of Terry, and able to give him able to re-up, get some more keys, pay him his money, and it's all good. So it's not a problem. But he also get an ID, and his name is Jason Peterson. So Franklin is a Jason Peterson, and he's feeling good about the situation, because now he got an ID he can give to the cops or whatever. I don't know if the local police know who Franklin is, because of, he grew up next door to the police. So the police knows who he is. So hopefully that police don't pull him over. But Franklin still got to worry about his ex-girlfriend's father, that's a cop, trying to find out, what happened to the Bell's bondsman people, you know what I'm saying? So Franklin got a lot on his plate, and he got war on the horizon. And so we see, Franklin's mom, she goes to the hospital, and she actually gets Franklin's father, and, she doesn't want to do it or whatever, but she does it. She's still got that heart, she's still a loving, caring person. She's not turned so cold and so bitter. She just wants her son to change, and she wanted her husband to do right and be supportive, but he turned to drugs and alcohol at one point in time. But she learns that he's clean, and that's all she really cares. And it's probably really just makes her sick that Franklin's selling drugs, because his father and some of the people in the Black Panthers movement, was enticed by drugs to help destroy the movement. So that's probably one of the reasons why too, that she's really against Franklin selling drugs. And plus, she don't want her son to be committing no crimes and go to jail, jail, and she knows that he is smart enough to make it and society. And, she put money and she struggled to get him in private school and things like that. She didn't want him to end up on the street. This is the last thing she wanted from her son. So that's why it seems like she's the way she is. But when she sees that tiger that Franklin gave her, she instantly remembers. And I think she's going to try to bring her family back together. I don't know if she's going to become a part of what Franklin does, but we'll see. Sometimes if you can't beat them, you join them, especially if you can watch over them and protect them at the same damn time. But, when you're doing drugs and selling drugs, you never know what kind of mess you're going to come up into. So Franklin's father was beat up pretty bad, he broken ribs and all this other stuff. But if he gets released back onto the streets, he's probably going to die out there and get an infection and get back on drugs. So that's when Franklin's mother takes him in and she takes care of him. And, So, Kevin, he's back on the crew. Like, he's back at the dope house. He's back at the trap house chilling. I don't think that's a good idea to have Kevin around because he has so much animosity. And it seems like he thinks he can do a better job than Franklin. I don't think he wants to be loyal to Franklin anymore. I think he thinks that he's the master king, the master plan, and he knows it all. But you see that he works off of emotions. And then the biggest point that they was making last episode, or the episode before last, it's like he didn't have a father. So, he acts erratically. He doesn't know how to follow rules and stand and commandments, stand in form. And, because he probably didn't listen to his mother as well, and doing things that going rogue, doing whatever he want to do, like taking that $5,000. That's like something he's doing because he want to do. He's not following train and command. He's not respecting Franklin at all. And, so that's just how it is with that situation. So, I don't even know why Kevin's back. I will put him like somewhere else. But anyways, Franklin needs more cookers. Everybody's there cooking. Auntie Lou, she's like, yo, you need more cookers. Everybody's like, they need more cookers. They need more people working. But Franklin doesn't want anybody to know the recipe because he don't want, to have competition. And he's trying to keep it low. The less people know, the less people that's involved, the less chances of them, getting involved with the popos, the police, the DA, and the LAPD, and, people trying to attack them and rob them. So we'll see how that situation goes. So then Franklin, he goes to the bank with Teddy. He's with Teddy. Teddy, Franklin is trying to put on a suit and his tie and stuff like that. But one thing they did point out that Franklin grew up with a father, so he know how to tie a tie. A lot of guys don't know how to tie a tie because they don't have fathers around. So I wonder if they're going to do a scene where does Kevin knows how to tie a tie. I don't know. It's just interesting to me. Well, so Franklin, he's tying his tie. He's getting ready. Got his suit on. He looks so cute and so funny in the suit too as well. So Franklin, he gets into the room with the bankers and Teddy. And the banker's trying to say, hey, listen, we can wash your money. We can hold your money. We can do this. We can do that. How would you like to make your withdrawals? We can make the withdrawals inside, and then Franklin was like, I want to invest in properties. The banker was like, that was going to be more, it's going to be like another 6% fee. You'll have offshore accounts and we can start your business and your companies in Jersey and things like that, but it's offshore. So, Franklin's questioning like, yo, you another dude, I don't know that I'm just going to be giving you my money to. And that's actually a really good question too as well. So I wonder if Franklin going to do any investigation into Teddy and who Teddy is, and would he ever find out who Teddy really is, or would it be too late? And so Teddy was like, okay, Teddy's like, okay, he's kind of feeling Franklin with that. Franklin wants to invest in real estate, and that's really smart too as well. And he probably picked that up from his mom too, because, his mom was like an apartment manager or manager for, a Jewish guy that had a lot of apartments. And on top of that, where his friend grew up at, with all the real estate over there in the big ass mansions and nice houses when he was going to school on that side of town, then Javi's nice neighborhood. So he wants to invest in real estate. That's what he's thinking about. But he doesn't want to trust, the bank guy and send all his money over to him. I wouldn't trust him either. Like, I don't know you, fool. Like, shit, you better bury it in the ground just like they did from Cowboys. It was that movie Cowboys, like buried in the ground, like you have a better chance, because once the situation goes down, all your offshore accounts, all the money you have, the government's going to seize. The government can't seize something that can't be traceable, even though it's in Franklin's name, Jason Peterson. Once the FBI, the CIA, the DEA, whatever, they find out that you was going by an alias name, Jason Peterson, then they're going to take all your accounts. But if you can dig that money up and put it in the ground or have vaults and safes in the ground, it'll be a good way. But two as well, it gets you in the game, and it shows you when Franklin went to go stand at the window and look out that he's going to become something big in his mind. The way he questioned things, the way he go about things, it's like he's playing chess. I don't know these two mother effers in the room with me trying to get my money. I'm still a black man. Franklin always says the system is rigged, and he ain't crazy. So he's like, the system is rigged, and these people are over here helping me, and they down with me or whatever. He's thinking twice. So right now he doesn't make a decision on whether he should do business with his bank as far as, investing and real estate properties and having his own company. Yes, of course it sounds good, because if he was trying to do it as himself, there'll be so many questions asked, and then on top of that there'll be so many roadblocks if he was doing it legitimate too as well. So, any way it goes, you effed, especially back then, and especially now till today too as well. So Franklin sees a tiger on the table of the banker, and it was like telling a funny story about, his mom used to have a tiger like that, and he broke it, and his mother was pretty upset. So the banker gave him the tiger because he knows I can buy millions of these tigers if you give me 6% of you depositing your money, and then 6% of me, doing overseas transactions for you, and building a company for you. Shit, you can have all these tigers. So Franklin is questioning, the banker. So that's when Teddy spoke in a different language. Teddy is in the CIA or whatever. He speaks all types of languages. And Teddy's very devious. He's not innocent at all. He tried to come off like he's like this good-hearted guy, but he's really not. He abandoned his kids and his wife because he wanted to go rogue. He wanted to do this crazy assignment, and his family wasn't important enough for him to try to do both. But he's continued to go through. He's act like he's doing something that is right. He's justifying everything that he's doing because he's trying to help the U.S. government. He's trying to help, Ronald Reagan, knowing what he's doing is wrong. But he's trying to justify because he's doing it for the great of his country. That's how the crazy people justify the shit that they do, saying, I'm doing it for my country. I'm doing it for... So you have that situation. So, and Franklin also, Teddy tells him that, like, he has a problem with control issues and empowering people. Like, he likes to empower the people that are working around him and helping people that deserve to need help, because you're only as strong as your team is. And so basically trying to give Franklin the insight that, you got to start empowering people around you and let people in to help you so you can be successful. But you're only as strong as your team is. So if your team is weak, then you're weak. So, empower the people around you. It'll help them be loyal to you. It'll help them, stick up for you. It'll help them not snitch on you. It'll help them to believe that they're doing something for a cause. Just like Teddy believes he's doing something for a cause for Ronald Reagan and the government by shipping drugs over here and selling drugs and killing people and justifying it through, the law. So moving on from that situation, I was just like, damn. So Teddy is trying to drop some jewels. Franklin knows that there's $5,000 missing from his truck. He questions Jerome. Jerome was like, I know you ain't even questioning me because I ain't take shit. You know that, man. I ain't got, Jerome reminds me of my mother's ex-boyfriend. He used to live in Pomona, Well, he used to, I think he lived in Long Beach, look just like him, the same belt, the same hairstyle, the way he talks, the way he carries himself, the gold chain. He looks just like James. So anyways, moving on from that, so Franklin questions, Jerome. Jerome is like, it ain't me. Like, and Jerome was like, yo, whoever took it, whoever got it, let them keep it because they really need it. Like, money ain't a problem. But Franklin can't let it go because he has to know who's loyal to him, who's not loyal to him, who will betray him, who will take money without asking him. He needs to know everything about the people that he's dealing with because he's only as strong as his team is. And he needs to empower the right people around him the same way Teddy was telling him to as well. So now Franklin is playing chess. Now he's going around questioning people. He questions Leon about, like, first he questions, Peaches about, like, I heard your mom was sick. I know the money I know it's expensive, her staying in the hospital, that she has insurance. If you need any help, I got you. And then Peaches was like, whatever, like, dude, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I think Franklin realized, okay, it's not him that he didn't take the 5 grand. He questions Leon, and he was like, "Oh, Leon, I know it's getting short. You trying to take care of all the kids in your neighborhood. I mean, your brothers and sisters, so many of them, because Leon has mad kids living at one apartment that he was staying. I don't know if he still lives with his mama or not. And then you got this girlfriend, and Leon was like, yeah, my cousin's going to college. It does get expensive. He was like, well, just let me know. I'll help you out. And so he realized, okay, it ain't Leon. By his conversation, he realized it ain't them. But when he has a conversation with Kevin, he realized it was Kevin. But Kevin knows who, Franklin is. And was like, yeah, I took it. Like, he was like, yeah, I gave 5 grand to my dead cousin's mother. And so he's pushing it. He's taking it because he's upset that Franklin didn't go revenge the Mexicans or whatever. But Franklin can't come out and just tell, the team, hey, listen, the Mexicans, or whatever you want to call them, the essays, that killed, because I got so many different names for these gangs, that killed his cousin or whatever, as like people that are come in and kill your whole family. He tries to explain it to, Kevin. Kevin's not trying to hear because he's hard-headed. He don't listen. He runs to the beat of his own drum, which is dangerous when you're in an environment where everybody can be taken down by one stupid mistake. Just one little mistake, everything could be gone. Everything could be taken away. So we'll see what happens with that situation. So Franklin actually finds out, who actually took the money. He kind of questions Auntie Lou too as well, but he knows she ain't steal from him. And so then moving on from that, he meets up with Peaches. Him and Peaches are going to go meet up with some dude to get some guns, because Franklin needs to get some guns, because right now Franklin boys just got robbed, and Peaches and Jerome is telling Franklin like, hey, listen, people think that we soft, that we ain't out here tough in these streets, that we don't protect our own, so they're coming at us. So Franklin gives the 2 young dudes that got robbed, his street soldiers, some money or whatever to take care of them, to make sure they all good. And then he links up with, Peaches to go get some guns. He gets some guns, and then, he lets Jerome, he empowers Jerome to lead, the war against the Mexicans, and also lead the war against anybody that messes with their crew, to show them how to, use guns, shoot guns, load guns, and him and Peaches gonna take care of that. So Franklin's actually empowering the people around him that he can trust. He also empowers Kevin when he's talking to Kevin and asking Kevin about the 5 grand. And Kevin was like, I took it. We didn't need it. We got more money than a little bit. Because Franklin was actually questioning him like, you got all these girlfriends, and and that's when Kevin was like, oh, you question me about my girlfriends? Like, since when do you care about who I'm sleeping with, who I'm messing with? He was like, oh, okay. Franklin was like, oh, it can get expensive. He was like, yeah, I got that under control. Like, I know how to take care of things. And that's when Kevin realized, oh yeah, this nigga knew that I took the 5 grand or whatever. So then he was like, I took the 5 grand from the trucks. But Franklin didn't accuse him, and Franklin didn't ask him. Kevin divulged information because he knows who Franklin is. He knows Franklin very well. And so, Franklin empowers him by saying, if you can find the people that killed your cousins or whatever, whoever it is, that we could take them out, I'll leave that up to you. And from there, we'll put the bounty out, we'll put money in your pocket, whatever it is to make you happy. Would that let you be content for now? And so Kevin was like, I'll be a little bit content, but I ain't like these other dudes over here. Just because you give them a gun or whatever, you can't play me like that. I'm smart, I'm this and I'm that. Which is kind of dangerous too as well, because Franklin might have to take you out. And then Franklin's plan to take over, Claudia's club is kind of like going down the drain, because actually Auntie Lou is actually going really far with Claudia. They're like in love, and she's giving her a ring. But who knows to say that this is not only an act where she actually breaks up with Jerome and she leaves him, and now she's going to be steady with, Lou. I mean, Lou's going to steady be with Claudia, because would, Lou's greed be more than her love for Claudia? Because Lou always wanted that club. Now, if Franklin can promise Auntie Lou that club, will she come back into the gang? Will she help and assist in getting rid of Claudia? Because she wanted that club more than anything. And she loves that life. She loves that life that Claudia has. She loves being, like, considered hood famous. Dress well, be beautiful, be around, people that worship her, not worship her like, like she's a god, but just, like her style, like her finesse, how she, moves around the club in that type of environment, like the Cotton Club, the speakeasies or whatever. So we'll see how that situation goes. But Auntie Lou tells Jerome that it's over, I'm leaving, because she wants to know the combination to the safe. And that right there makes you think, oh, she took the $5,000. But Lou started the business with, Franklin, and that she won't steal from him. But now, who knows what's going to be going on in her situation with Claudia? Will she want the club more than she wants Claudia? That's going to be the question pretty soon for her to decide. And so, since Jerome don't want to give her the code, because she's doing him, and she's cooking the coca, she's doing this, she's doing that, she's making sure these dudes ain't doing nothing crazy, going to get Franklin when she needs to. She maneuvered these deals with Franklin in the beginning to get it going, and then getting Jerome involved. Why don't she have the combination to the safe? Why ain't she a part of that? How come she don't know? And she's trying to get it from Jerome. Jerome's like, hell no. She was like, you gonna miss the best thing you ever had when I walk out that door. And he went like this. I was like, he is such a dude. So, he's hurting. And he'll be down to kill Claudia. But if they're going to kill Claudia, do something to Claudia, they have to do it where it does not come back to them, because Auntie Lou will not forgive them if they did it. Or unless, as promised to her, the club. And she could run her business outside, run, Franklin's business inside the club and really become a partner, because Franklin has to empower Auntie Lou, because she likes power. She wants to feel like she's wanted, she's needed, and she's actually making a difference. Like she's a coach. And that's what she would like, to be, a coach. And so we'll see what happens with that situation. And so now we have, Franklin getting the guns, and it's all good. So Peaches and, Jerome is going to be in charge of the soldiers, teaching them and training them about how to use the guns or whatever. And so then we have, Matthew and Terry. They're actually spending Christmas together. Matthew wants to go home, be with his father, but Teddy doesn't want to go home to his father, because he has a beef with him, a grudge with him. So then Matthew was like, "Girl, what about your wife? What about your kids?" He was like, "Oh, we ain't together no more." Like, damn, like you actually did the paperwork for the divorce. And so as they're sitting there having this conversation, Teddy looks in the newspaper, and he looks at the regional park, or the park, whatever. They're gonna be doing some building and some digging, because the Olympics is coming, and he got bodies in there, just in suitcases. So he needs to get it out of there ASAP. So he brings Matthew with him to get the bodies out. Matthew don't know that there's bodies in there. But then he sees the bodies are in suitcases, and he knows, because he can smell it, because he was in the Vietnam War. And he can't believe, his brother has stooped to these level, and it's not legal. It's not something the government knows about. This is something he's doing on rogue, but the government give him permission to do whatever he does, as long as he don't get caught doing it. And so Matthew's like, damn, they're cut up there in bags? Because, first, Teddy tried to justify, oh, the other guy was a really bad drug dealer and he killed this girl. But yeah, you cut these torsos up, you cut these bodies up, and you put them in suitcases. What does that say about you? I told you, he's evil. He's very manipulating, and he's very evil, and he's calculating, and he plays chess with everybody around him, and he likes these games. So, and he's rogue right now. He's on a mission by himself. He acts like he wants a partner. He needs a partner before, but he likes doing everything on his own. But it seems like Matthew's going to come in the picture and probably be his number 2. For now, we see that Jerome is actually, Franklin's number 2. So we'll see how the situation goes. So moving on from that, basically that's it. And then actually Lucia getting raided by, the immigration people, and actually able to fight that off. Paige's wife getting smacked in the face because she wanted to go deeper raid. She wanted a deeper radar than to look through stuff or whatever. I knew when I seen it, I was like, this is definitely coming from her. The way that she was positioned inside the warehouse, the way she was there, her job is in there or whatever. So it's coming through. So, but, Gustavo does not really like them at all. And he lets, Lucia know you got a soft spot for them. But Lucia actually softens up this episode, and she gives Gustavo a gem, something that he always dreamed up. So she's actually empowering her people too as well. The more you empower the people around you, the more they are loyal to you, and the more that they can protect you, and the more that they'll put their lives on the line for you. So we'll see a lot of empowerment going on in this situation. So, I wonder if Lucia is going to realize that, this girl is the Popos and is Pedro part of the Popos. But Lucia seems like she's liking this new girl that Pedro's married to. So hopefully she don't get caught up. But Gustavo is ready to stick an ice pick in both of them. He ain't playing. He ain't no joke. But we'll see if, Franklin's father actually train and help Franklin in his business, or will he be going against Franklin and saying that you're the devil? I don't think he's going to do that because the cops just beat him up. So if he can get one up on the cops and the police and the criminal justice system, I think he would actually help Franklin out in the situation and maybe even bring on, Franklin's mother in the situation. So we'll see what happens. I was just like, damn, Teddy is no joke. So that until next time, we'll see what happens. We'll see if Kevin is actually able to find out who killed, his cousins. Does he get the right one? Because Franklin knows who the right people were. So are they just going to just go out there and shoot them and kill them? I wish if they're going to go attack the gang, they do it where no one knows it's coming from them. That'll protect their family, because Franklin's worried about them attacking their family. Peace. I'm out. One love.